Welcome everyone to the Security Riviera Affair at ETHCC by Immunefi. I'm Sajad, and I am the VP of Revenue at Immunefi, and I'll be your host today. I'd like to again ask everyone if they can join us here, as many of you who want to learn about what we want to discuss. It's super important. Today we will be discussing the problem that is the focus of Immunefi's existence. Solving for, securing the next decatrillion on-chain. Over the last few months, I believe we are at an inflection point when it comes to crypto adoption. And we're seeing better UX, we're seeing real-world use cases, and in particular, we're finally seeing certainty in regulation. The one remaining barrier to institutional adoption of crypto, I think, is security. Security today is still insufficient. Security today still is siloed and fragmented. And to really solve for this, we need to work together. The security community, Web3 needs to work together to build better products. So we'll be talking about today. At our end, Immunefi has recently made a large step on this front to solve this problem with the launch of MAGNUS. MAGNUS is an on-chain security platform that provides end-to-end on-chain protection using AI. We're going to learn more about it from Moti, who's our product leader. He'll be showing you what MAGNUS looks like today. He'll talking about the various features it offers today and the capabilities it offers today and what's coming up in the future. And after that, we'll have a panel with security experts and protocol users who are using MAGNUS, who are using various security tools and products to secure their infrastructure and their stack, and see how together we can come up with even better ways to secure the future of on-chain adoption. And with that, without further ado, I'd like to welcome Moti, our product leader, to talk us through MAGNUS. Thank you, Moti.
Thank you, Sajad. So, I'm Moti, and I head up the product team here at Immunefi. It's a great location, isn't it? Makes my work harder. Okay, so hands up, anyone who recognizes this flag. All right, I see some of you do, right? Okay, so for those who didn't put their hands up or were afraid, this flag is the flag of North Korea. Why North Korea? Well, North Korea's Lazarus and bad actors like them have been looking to hack their way into your systems, right? And despite our best measures as an industry, they've been remarkably successful, right? So during 2024, we had over $2.2 billion funds lost through various hacks. And if you think you're doing any better in 2025, well, sadly not. We already to date have had over $2 billion lost to various hacks. So this leads to not only loss of funds, but loss of reputation and stalling your project's growth, okay? Okay, so how are CISOs coping at the moment, right? So you guys are doing an admirable job, okay? In our quest to reduce hacks, last year we spoke to hundreds of protocols, and they told us that you're struggling with tool overload. You have multiple siloed security tools that don't work together and leads to a very high cognitive overload. Secondly, you have a talent gap. It's hard to find key security leaders who can help you secure your systems. And even if you do, the good ones, they cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then you have visibility blind spots. You have no real-time information into the threats that you're facing, and it's very hard to see exactly what is going on in your system. And finally, you have a constantly evolving attack surface. So threats are constantly changing. We have now AI-driven threats, which mean that it's even harder to keep up with the state of the art. So these lead to missed threats, and in the end, giving you missed threats, you have slow responses, and what that results to in the end is that dreaded 3 a.m. wake-up call. I mean, some of you have been on the back of those, yo, are you up? And that strikes fear into some of us. Those who know, okay? So that's the origin story of successful hack. So we built MAGNUS to meet those challenges. It's not just another security tool. MAGNUS is your unified view into your whole security posture, right? Into your whole security posture and security platform. Right? So it's specifically designed for the unique challenges that you guys face with your protocol security. we built Magnus to connect to your existing security stack. And Magnus leverages your Immunefi's data so that giving you one dashboard with a real-time view across all of your systems, right? It allows you to automate detection and threat response. And also, it supercharges your team, so ensuring that you can work effectively with a team that looks like one that is potentially 2 times its size. At Immunefi, we believe that by breaking down the silos between tools and then connecting them together, we can build a really effective security analysis and security tools that will help you really secure your projects and your protocols. And with that, we give you decision-making systems that will help CISOs like you to manage the infrastructure that you have. So, at last, with Magnus, we aim to really deliver on Immunefi's goal, which is to cut the number of hacks by 10 times across the industry. So, I know what you're thinking. That's a pretty tall order, right? I mean, we're promising here to unify all your security systems, break down silos, etc. And yeah, where's the proof of that? Where's the proof in the pudding? This isn't really a natural evolution for Immunefi. We're leveraging all of the learnings that we have from running bug bounties across hundreds of security protocols, right? And really protecting the ecosystem. So we're using those learnings to build out this new security platform. We know that no one else can build full security stack on their own. And that's why we at Immunefi have decided that we're going to use the best-in-class providers and integrate that into one overarching security solution. Since we announced Magnus, we've had over 30 partners express interest in joining Magnus and helping us secure the future of Web3. We've already signed up multiple partners. I'm going to show those to you at the end of the presentation. You'll see some really exciting names. And there'll be more come in the coming months. Unmatched data with Codexa. Codexa is our platform to process thousands of security vulnerabilities. With that, we ingest, we take advantage of the largest vulnerability data set that we have in the industry. And it really allows us to differentiate our AI platform from all the others. Okay. So with Codexa, it allows us to power the gamut of our AI solutions, right? So this big vulnerability data set, we use that to power the solutions that I'm going to be showing you, from our CI/CD pipeline tools through to eventually the monitoring tools that we'll be bringing on board. So our team has proven expertise. We've received 4,000 plus vulnerabilities to date. We have secured over 500 protocols and protect over $180 billion in TVL, giving you a small number of those protocols that we protect at the moment, right? So you can see some really big names there, and those are some of the protocols that work with us. It's not all talk, right? Magnus is live today. We have so much that we're bringing on board, what we could show from my team. So let's start with Radar. Right. Radar is our our monitoring tool that allows you to ensure that every bit of your protocol is fully protected. So no longer do you have to keep up with juggling multiple assets, right? If you have hundreds of assets, you no longer have to juggle and to keep them up to date. Radar proactively goes out, scans your smart contracts, and knows which ones to include in your program. And so it keeps your bug bounty or your competitions up to date, and also powers the rest of our security solutions, ensuring that your scope is always the latest. Then let's move on to our AI Guardian. We know that security teams face huge challenges with the complexity of the tools, making sure that they're up to date and evolving not only the technology, but the evolving attack vectors. So you might spend hours digging through logs, notifications, waiting for a senior expert to give you some feedback about a security issue or how to prioritize how to prioritize a threat. With AI Guardian, it takes care of all of that for you. So with Guardian, it acts as your in-house security expert. So Guardian really provides new ways for you to query your existing security knowledge, right? So we know that we've had security leaders who have recently onboarded into their protocol or their job, and they need to get an they need to understand what the security posture is very quickly to ensure that they can keep up with the evolving threats. Guardian helps you do that, keeps you up to date, and it allows you to query and question with the context of your project. So it allows you to question it in natural language. So anything from how should I write a travel policy? How should I do a risk assessment? How should I do how do I best do a threat model for this new attack vector that I've recently heard of? How do I prioritize this notification that I've received from my monitoring engine? How do I decide which issue I should have my dev team look as critical? Guardian helps you make those decisions. Right? So it's really trained and ensures that it gives you the ability to have it's just the same as the ability of having an experienced CISO on tap 24/7. We think of it as being your on-hand Sam Sizi-san or Mudit Gupta without necessarily having them on your team. Okay, so let's talk about bringing security earlier in the development lifecycle. And we do that with our new tool, which is PR reviews. Okay, so pull request reviews. It allows you to do continuous discovery across your development lifecycle. So at the beginning of when you start coding, you can have an on-tap security expert, a security researcher who's found live at-risk vulnerabilities on-chain. They will review your code. As you send the pull request, they will be able to review your code and tell you whether they found an issue as you're going through development. One of the major advantages we see with pull requests is that it ensures that you can find security issues much earlier in the development cycle. That means that later on, when you go into audits, when you go into running a bug bounty program, you have fewer, you've potentially identified those security risks earlier. So it means that you need to have fewer rounds of audits potentially, and you can have a more cost-effective bug bounty program. Pull request reviews lives in GitHub. So it means that your developers don't have to context switch, right? They always have pull requests available. They get the comments from the researcher in the context that they're used to working with. And we found that the people who've used it have found it really useful to be able to do that as part of their normal development workflow. All right, then let's talk about audits. So you've gone through your pull requests, you've gone through your development, and then you now want to go through an audit. So this is a product that we've recently launched. With audits, we allow you to, we use our select partners to run the audits with you, right? And as part of that, we will match our auditors with your particular code base. So we have a matchmaking engine that will look through, depending on what your code base is, what your particular attributes of your project are. We'll match you with one of our selected audit partners. And these are people who have found, again, live at-risk vulnerabilities across multiple protocols. Right? So, and with that, we'll make sure that as part of our audits product, we make sure that we can have a cost-effective budget, scope-adjusted, cost-effective audit for your needs. Then let's talk about monitoring. So you've gone through audit, you've gone through pull request reviews, you've done your code, you've gone through an audit, and now you're ready to launch your product. So we then have our new solution, which is monitoring. So monitoring gives you end-to-end alerts, notifications when an issue is found in your live deployed smart contracts. You can visualize patterns. You can see not just patterns, but you can see overall trends. And it will also allow you to prioritize those issues that have been found as part of when your smart contracts are deployed. So with monitoring, it allows you to filter fast, do end-to-end alert controls, right? So you can decide, as is showing on the screen, you can decide to set up monitors depending on your date, your criticality, etc. It then allows you to visualize patterns, so you can see not just like individual notifications, but you can actually see trends, right? So you can see major trends and you can see broad trends across what's been happening in your system. Then you can also set up custom alerts, right? So if you want, let's say, a particular risk category to go to a certain part of your team, monitoring will allow you to configure that. And we will also in the future be enabling you to add additional monitoring agents, right? So with that, you'll be able to aggregate those notifications from additional monitoring tools, and it'll deduplicate those notifications, right? And so Codexa, with using our AI powered by Codexa, we'll be able to determine whether an issue is seen across multiple tools, and then only give you that single alert that tells you that there's something that's been a critical issue that's been identified. So that's not all that we're going to be providing across with Magnus. So we're also going to be doing integrations with third parties, some of our people that you might see some of them on stage, but so we'll be doing community protection, we'll be doing additional monitoring alerts, we'll be doing firewall, we'll be allowing bug bounty and hack cover, we'll also be doing multi-sig security, allowing you to do incident response, and additionally, we'll also be helping you with a security blueprint in case you are new to security and you need to have a one blueprint of what you need to do to effectively, on day one, protect your protocol. This is some of the customers, some of the partners we have on Magnus. So you see like some of the early access customers there, a list, people like Plume, Hourglass, Inference Labs, and Alchemix. And we have multiple partners already signed up. These are some of the 8 partners we've announced already on Magnus, and we're bringing those tools live online soon. The key thing here is security can't be an afterthought. To ensure that we protect the next $1 trillion of assets on-chain, we need to ensure that we think of security holistically. And that's what we aim to do with Magnus. Right? Combined security platforms like Magnus in the Web2 space led to multiple big companies that led to eventually $1 trillion outcomes. Right? So with Magnus, we aim to ensure that you can all have one single overarching pane for your security and protect yourself from the evolving attack surface. Thank you very much, and I'll leave the talks to Sajad.